Welcome to another episode of the Kannon Studios podcast. I am one of your hosts, Gianni here. Kyle cannot be here today, and we also don't have a guest. So this is going to be a solo episode. For those that like hearing my voice, keep listening. For maybe those that don't, you might want to stop it right now because it's only going to be me talking for like the next few minutes. For those that listen to our podcast, you understand the format. But for those that don't, today will be a little bit different because I'm not going to follow the typical format that we have. Our podcast is all about connecting businesses through different ways of marketing, right? And so how do we connect the community to the business owner? That's what this podcast is really about. And it starts with the story. So today I'm just going to share kind of an update in terms of my story, maybe for those that I don't know on a personal level or that I may not see in person. And that our only interaction is really through this podcast. So on Monday, May 1st, that was my last day at my job. I feel like I need to add in some little applause there. Because that's a big deal. And so now I'm a full-time entrepreneur, business owner here at Kannon Studios, and I'm dedicated to helping this business grow and helping business owners with the push they need through the services that we offer. And so for those that don't know, we offer branding photography, so headshots, product photography, lifestyle shoots, things like that, and then podcast. So just like we're doing here, you can use this one piece of content and it can help you connect with so many people in so many different ways. And so that's what our focus is here at Kannon Studios. And so that's what we do. And so that's what I'm out here marketing to people and trying to share that with them the best way possible and using those different marketing mediums to be able to help people grow their business. That's what the focus of Kannon Studios is. Okay, now that the sales pitch is over, I want to get into the journey, right, that I'm on right now. So May 1st was my last day at my job. A lot of people knew that, especially if I see you on a pretty consistent basis, because that's been something that I've prayed for. Me and Kyle have talked about for several months. And so about 2 months ago, I put in like a 60-day notice at my job. So it's not like it was a surprise or anything to them. And the toughest thing so far has been that I really enjoyed the company that I worked with and that I worked for. The owners of the company, I've never really worked in an environment where I felt appreciated and valued as much as I did with this company. So I appreciated them. And so giving them that news, it was like bittersweet, but here we are and they're happy for me and I'm happy for them. And we'll still continue to be friends. So now I'm on this full-time entrepreneurship thing. And so what that's looking like for me is kind of like I mentioned before, is really growing and elevating Kannon Studios. And so today, I kind of want to put like a motivational word on somebody's heart, because I know for me, when we first opened the studio about a year ago, we had no idea where the clients were going to come from. We didn't know where the income was going to come from, none of that. And so we can't even give ourselves all the credit for anything. He's been really good to us. And so I can't take that. I can't tell this story without including God as the main person that's been driving this, right? And so he's equipped us with so much. And so the journey to this has been something that we've talked about a lot. And so it's finally here. And so what does that mean? A lot of people have been asking me, how do I feel? And if there's one word that I had to say is like there's a certain element of freedom in it. And not freedom because my job had me like strapped down or anything like that, but the freedom and the flexibility to be able to call the shots or do the things that I want to do with all of the time that I control. And so that's what I mean by freedom. Not that my job was holding me captive, definitely not. But the fact that I have the freedom and the flexibility to be able to go and do things to grow the business, to go and do things, with Kannon or do things with Kyle. But there still has to be structure to that. And we'll talk about that in the future. One of the things I wanted to say was, as I'm kind of on this journey in full-time entrepreneurship, I'm also in this journey of like rediscovering kind of my purpose. And so, yes, we have this beautiful business. Yes, I know my purpose was to be a wife and to be a mom, right? But God's created us, I think, with multiple purposes. And so, especially as creatives. And so I just remember, and this whole thought started when I was talking to my cousin a couple of weeks ago when she was saying, um, as a creative, from day to day, it changes what it is that you want to do. You may want to paint this day, you may want to take pictures this day, right? And I think that God has gifted us all in very unique ways. But I will say that sometimes you don't find what your purpose is that God has created you for until you take that first step. So if you're still stuck in something that's mundane, and you aren't feeling like it's getting you to the next level, and you aren't feeling like you're being challenged, and you don't feel like, I don't know, you just feel like not content with things, and you know that God's calling you to do something different. Sometimes He's waiting on you to take the first step, and in that journey to you walking with Him, or you putting your faith in Him, right? Then you will find what your purpose is. And so I've just been reflecting on that. I've heard that a lot over the past couple of weeks, because I do struggle with, what is my purpose, right? What is my purpose outside of being Cannon's mom? What is my purpose outside of being a sister, being a daughter, being whatever, right? And I think a lot of women do, because I have conversations with them. But I'm here to say that sometimes we don't understand, or we won't know what our purpose is until we take that first step. And then God shows us what that is, whenever we're on that journey. So for me, God is still revealing to me what my purpose is, right? I don't want to take a chance of not finding out what that is, because I was too afraid to take the first step. And for me, the first step was leaving my job and going to this entrepreneurship thing full time. I have no idea what's going to happen in 5 years. I can project things. I can say, these are the goals that we have. These are the things we have in place, but we have no idea, right? We don't know when something is going to pop off. We don't know we never know, if our plans get derailed. We don't know. So, we can only control what we can control. But I will say, as a motivational type of thing, there's a lot of people that tell you all these different ways of finding your purpose, right? But I really think it starts by you taking that first step. And in order to take that first step, it goes back to you, I believe, right? Do you have the confidence? And if you want to hear more about confidence, go and listen to the previous episode with Casey Sullivan. She really taps into the confidence, right? And there's a certain amount of confidence you have to be able to say, I believe in this business or this venture so much that I'm leaving the security of a job to pursue the unsecurity of a business. I think that takes a lot of confidence to be able to do that. And so the first step of that is taking that jump, I believe, for me. And so in this, I'm excited about it. I'm a little nervous, because I'm very analytical and I like to kind of know what's going to happen. But the truth is, I don't know, and I don't control anything anyway. So I'm excited to see what is going to be revealed in this journey. But to anybody out there that isn't sure what their purpose is, right? First of all, I think one of the things you should do is take some time for yourself, to reflect and really sit with your own thoughts, because we have so many external things that are coming at us. Social media is probably the biggest one. You have a lot of people in your ear telling you need to do this, you need to do that. There's a lot of influences probably that are in your life that are telling you what you should do. And you fall down the rabbit hole of comparison. But I think you have to sit with your thoughts, and maybe you need to journal it out, or maybe you need to write it, or whatever that looks like for you, and sit in that and say, okay, this is what I think my next move needs to be, right? And so that's kind of my suggestion. And I think once you sit with those thoughts, as you start to do that over and over, there will be something that is a common theme with what your next step needs to be. Now, it may not be that you need to quit your job. I'm not telling anybody to quit their job if they can't do that. I don't want you to to be homeless or whatever the case may be. But for some, there are some people that need to leave that comfort of a secure, quote unquote, job and do that next thing that you're being called to do. And so I hope that Man, I really hope that spoke to somebody, because that's what I needed to hear in order for me to make the decision. Because I've been contemplating this for so long, and me getting inside my own head or listening to people about what I should and shouldn't do really start to make things cloudy. And so once I was able to sit with my thoughts, talk to like two people that I really, really trust, I knew what the next best move for me was, and for our family was. And so that's what I believe. I believe first you need to sit with those thoughts and really think about, what does that next move need to look like, or what does it need to be for you? And then from there, it's going to be scary, because once you decide to take that next step, I believe what held me accountable was telling people what my goal was. So before I even told the company I was working at what my last day was going to be, which was May 1st, I told several people. And the reason why I did that was so that they could hold me accountable, because if I would have only kept that goal internally, it would have never happened. I'd probably still be working at my job right now. But the fact that I had all these people, I'm going to these networking meetings and I'm talking to my sister and I'm talking to whoever, and they're like, it's almost May 1st. The fact that I told them and I spoke it and told them, hey, May 1st, I'm leaving my job. Now they're counting down with me. They're in my corner with me. They're counting down the days together. I had several people text me on May 1st, like, how does it feel? How does it feel for you to be a full-time entrepreneur? They're happy for me. So I think that's the second step. Once you identify what that next goal is for you, right? Maybe that next goal is, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like for you, but be clear on what that goal is and what your next step is, and tell some people. You don't have to tell everybody, but at least tell 5 people that you know will hold you accountable. Because if you only keep it on the inside, sometimes that's not enough. And if you're the only person responsible for holding yourself accountable, sometimes you will not act on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So I would say that's the second thing, right? Get clear on what it is that you want to do, sit with yourself. And then the second thing is tell some people whatever that goal is. And then the third thing is create a plan. Create a plan for how you're going to achieve that goal. Is that a goal that you're planning to achieve over the next month? Whatever that looks like for you, get with some people that can help you really reach that goal. Actually, that would probably be second. Get clear on what your goal is. Find some people that can help you achieve that goal and map out a plan. And then tell some people, hey, this is my goal that I'm making happen by this date. Those are the big three things, and those are the things that really help me in terms of making the transition. I don't know what that transition looks like for anybody else that's listening, but I do know that's what helped me. And so hopefully it will help somebody else. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited to see what's going to come out of it. I'm excited to see the connections that are going to be made. I'm excited to see the opportunities, but most of all, I'm excited for Kannon to see his mom truly living out her dreams, right? And so the big why behind Kannon Studios and me doing anything that I want to do is because it's impossible for me to show Kannon how to live out his dreams if I'm not doing that. And so, yeah, that's all I have for today. It's just that I hope that motivated somebody. And I hope this was helpful. I can't wait for y'all to hear the future episodes. We're going to have like I said, we have a couple of few guests lined up. Kyle will be back, and it won't just be me. So some people are probably happy about that. I'm sure everybody is, because I like having this podcast with him. But anywho, make sure you follow us on social at Kannon, Kannon Studios. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that fun stuff. And be sure to subscribe to this for sure. Share it with a couple of friends. We would also love if you could leave a review. So until next time, this is Gianni with Kannon Studios, the podcast.